Fears your trophy is ripping us a new orifice.
Let me review the tactical situation for you, gentlemen. Boudreaux is wounded. He's been pursued and harried across miles of open country. Now he's cornered and outnumbered 20 to 1. He's an annoying little insect, and I want him stepped on hard. You're not angry with me, are you, Pick?
I don't get angry. I'm a professional.
So, Badway, I know you just got back from vacation. It's a work night. It's 3 a.m. currently. Making you do a podcast. You're not angry with me, are you?
Drew, I don't get angry. I'm a professional. However, I am disappointed in you.
I'm sorry. You know what, though? You're the brains of this operation, just like Van Cleef was, right? Pick Van Cleef.
No, I don't know. I think that you're the brains of this thing, and I'm just the guy that says dumb stuff. You know,
Get out of here.
you're the guy that makes all the moves.
Welcome back. This is episode 108 of the Last Row podcast. If you're looking for our website, if you're new to this show, thanks to all the new listeners that we've been picking up here. Thanks to everyone that's subscribing. Check us out, thelasrowpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser. If you're really enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. That way, welcome back. Welcome back from your vacation. Hope you had a nice time. But we're still back again for another consistent release.
I did. What was the other thing that the guy always said? The guy, Habib Marwan, what's his character's name?
Van Cleef.
This movie?
Van Cleef.
Van Cleef.
He
goes, it's like his calling card before he kills someone. He goes, "You weren't trying to hurt my feelings, were you?" I feel like you're trying to hurt my feelings.
I promise I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
No, yeah, vacation was fine. But, we have, vacations come and they go. But, the work needs to be done.
Back to work for the people.
And, back to work. And I wouldn't really call it work when you have to watch Hard Target because what a romp, Drew. What a
What a pleasure.
What a pleasure. Hard Target has its flaws. Genuinely, overall, a good movie. August 20th, 1993. Drew, where were you in August 20th, 1993?
And I probably getting ready for school, I guess.
I would call 93 probably the peak of our lives. I don't know about you.
The early 90s was a hot time.
93 was like the best year ever, and then it was all downhill from there. For my life, anyway.
Consistently downhill.
Yep. With a runtime of 1 hour, 37 minutes.
Just about right.
A little too long.
Maybe 5-10 minutes too long.
Under 100, though, can't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Genre, action/crime/thriller/Van Damme movie. Van Damme. Directed by John, quote, Ric Flair, unquote, Woo! What's your favorite John Woo movie?
Probably Face Off.
Yeah, probably Face Off.
We'll
talk more about John Woo later. Written by my man, Chuck Pfefferer. Chuck Pfefferer.
I don't know what else he has done.
You know who he was in this movie, though?
Who?
He was in this movie.
He was? All right.
Yeah. He played the dad who died in the beginning. The guy that they were trying to find. He's Doug Binder. Yeah.
Wait, now listen. Do you think is this like Larry Davidson? There's so much of you in the world. There's so much of you here. Like, do you think that it's okay to like put yourself in? Is this like a Shyamalan situation?
It's a Shyamalan situation.
But I guess the writer doesn't get a lot of credit. So if you're the director, you're already the face of the movie. So if you're the writer, maybe give yourself a bone.
I think John Woo had his hands full of Van Damme. So when this guy like meekly brought it up, he's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Be the guy.
Or he put him on set to also keep an eye on John Woo. They're like the writer, Sam Raimi, which we'll get to in a second. They need more eyes on him is what they need.
So this guy also wrote a couple other things. One of them being Barbed Wire. Do you remember Barbed Wire?
Dude, you know what's funny? I was gonna suggest that we do that movie on this show at some point, even though I haven't seen it in probably 20 years.
Talk about Silver Linings, bad movie, man. Oof.
Yeah.
And he also did The Jackal, underrated Bruce Willis.
Oh man,
movies.
that's a good movie. Yeah. That's a good movie. Bruce Willis.
He did Dark Man, which was also a little underrated back in 1990, and he also wrote Navy SEALs.
All right.
Which I never seen the movie Navy SEALs, and I just remember it from that scene in Clerks where the guy's at the movie theater and he goes, "Ooh, Navy SEAls." That's the only thing I know Navy SEALs.
Is that Charlie Sheen in Navy SEAls? Is he in that?
I believe you're right.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you're right. You are correct.
All right.
But that's enough about Michelle Pfeiffer's dad, Chuck Pfeiffer. IMDb 6.2 out of 10.
Too low.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's probably about right. Too low for me, but about right for
Rotten
the
Tomato
world.
58%.
Too low.
About right.
For the
Metacritic 63%.
Too low.
That's about right. Letterboxd 3.2 out of 5. 17,986 votes.
Too low. It's too low for me. It's about right for the Earth.
It's probably too high. Yeah. I'm going by I'm trying to be realistic with these, and I think that they're all slightly high to just about right.
Okay.
The movie was entertaining. It was bad. It had questionable direction choices. It had bad acting. It had great action. Some might ask, "What's this story about?" And I would say,
"Would you tell me, please?"
Chance Boudreaux, killer name, by the way.
Chance,
a sailor skilled in martial arts, is employed to guard Natasha. Is it Binder or
it's
Binder?
Binder. They said Bender, but it's Binder. Is what they said.
Nat Binder.
Nat.
As she tracks down her father, and what? Itinerant.
I copied from Google.
I'll read it, man. I told you, man. I'm like Ron Burgundy. Vietnam veteran living in New Orleans named Douglas. They soon uncover a sinister group of wealthy men who hunt the homeless for sport, the most dangerous game, paying them $10,000 if they can survive a cross-town journey. When Chance discovers that Natasha's father was one of their victims, he decides to destroy the evil hunters. Rated R.
Do you think that's like 10,000 is not that much? But I guess like the point is like they're not going to actually pay them anyway. And they don't get paid anyway.
That blood-soaked strap of 10K has been around the waist of countless homeless men.
That's all they can
all
fit
over
in
the
that
world.
Belt. That's why it's only 10K because they can't put more in the belt.
And it's probably like $500 with Monopoly money wrapped around the rest. There's not because they're never going to win. It's a rigged game.
I have a lot of thoughts about the game, which we got to get to in a second. But before we do that, let's tackle the tagline. So last episode for Final Destination, we had some awesome ones. This one, not so much. It's only a couple today. So yeah, I'll see you soon.
There's no I'll see you soon.
I'm coming to get you. See you soon. Goodbye. Here I am. So the taglines this week there's only two, and tell me what you think. First one, hard target : don't hunt what you can't kill.
Love it.
It's probably just accurate.
Slap it on the poster. It's done.
So the next one, hard target : catch him if you can.
It's too cute.
Too cute.
I get it. It's not bad, but it's too cute.
I like the first one. First one's solid.
First one works.
Right? All right. So financials, it was $18 million estimated to film, which actually surprising. I thought for some reason it would have cost more, especially with like the streets and
all
stuff.
All of those explosions. But the setting was nowhere.
Yeah, it was.
It was like one street, a bunch of woods, and a warehouse.
Yeah, Wilford Brimley's Bayou farm,
and a strip club office. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it turned around cumulative worldwide gross about $74 million, which is pretty good for what it was, right? Even though I know critically it didn't do well.
Well, you had the Van Damme American audience, and of course his overseas appeal. And you also had John Woo's appeal in the Asian market,
right?
Which probably helped to make the movie what it did.
This was his first Hollywood film too in the United States, which was a big deal because he's very critically acclaimed in the Hong Kong film scene. So coming to the U.S., it's a big deal.
Yep.
Critically, though, it didn't do so well, but it did win a couple of awards.
Oh,
so I got to give credit. So the Saturn Awards, Lance Henriksen won for Best Supporting Actor, who I actually thought he was really good in this. I think he deserved that.
He was the main bad, right?
Yeah. Emile Fouchon or whatever, however you say it. But he's the main bad guy, right? Which we'll see how he does on the villain scale.
Pronunciation.
None of them my French here, and then it was nominated for a couple other things: Best Horror Film, Best Director, John Woo. I don't know why it's a horror film, but maybe it's just
probably
fits in there.
The goofy kind of categories that the Saturn Awards have.
And then Best Music, which I actually thought did have some pretty good music, but it didn't win those. But I liked it.
A little westerny. Faux New Orleans, Bayou tunes. I don't know.
I'm surprised that Seagal didn't weasel his way into this. Somehow it's
Seagal should be in every New Orleans movie.
But the last and most important and most important awards. We finally got it back, Bowie. 1994, the peak of the MTV Movie Awards. It was nominated for 2 key categories. The first one, Most Desirable Male, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So let me ask you, like, most desirable man, does that mean, like, is this like a sexual award?
I
like the ladies and the men, they love him. The ladies want to be with him. The men want to be him.
I don't know. Like, well, let me tell you the other people in the category, and then you can decide that. Okay. So in 94, it was Hard Target. Van Damme was nominated. Denzel Washington for The Pelican Brief.
Fair but odd role for to be desired by. Was he a lawyer?
Yeah, probably. Val Kilmer in Tombstone.
a dirty dude from the 1800s.
Yeah,
continue desire. We desire him.
Yeah. Tom Cruise from The Firm.
Another lawyer.
Another lawyer. Desirable. I think they're talking about the actor, not the role. Maybe I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think it's like I think it's like sex symbol, right?
Sex symbol, yeah. But like you're right. I'm
sorry. Like I get it. Tom Cruise and Denzel, they're very handsome. Val Kilmer, very handsome. But the roles they're portraying is not super sexy.
You're right. You know. Well, wait till I tell you what won. Okay. So all of these guys lost, which you could argue any one of these, as when you talk about Hollywood sex symbol as a man in the 90s, 1994 would potentially win. But let me tell you who won this award. A little old actor by the name of William Baldwin for a movie called Silver. Billy Baldwin.
It's Sliver, Drew, and it's a sexy ass movie.
Sliver. I'm sorry.
That's a movie that will be on USA at 11 p.m.
after Silk Stockings
Silk Stockings.
La Femme Nikita.
Let me tell you what, Sliver, sexy ass movie.
Why did I say silver?
So I get like the desirableness of it, but yeah, Billy Baldwin's he's a goof.
What does he play in that movie that makes it so sexy?
I have no idea. The movie sucks.
Yeah. Silk Stockings. Anyway, La Femme Nikita. Those are the two that I remember, like USA at like 11 p.m. on a Friday. So then it also was nominated for Best Action Sequence.
Fair.
But it had some hard competition, man. Jurassic Park's the T-Rex Jeep scene.
Sure.
Cliffhanger, the opening catwalk sequence, which is amazing. We did that on this show.
One of the best movies.
Check it out. And Hard Target's the scene for this movie was the motorcycle scene, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And then Romeo is Bleeding, which I don't know what this is. I've never seen this. And then it lost to The Fugitive for the train wreck, which you can't argue against that. It's a great movie and a great scene. So, but look, let's talk about JCVD. So this is the triumphant return of JCVD to our show. We've done a bunch of JCVD movies. We did Bloodsport, one of our earlier episodes. We did Sudden Death, which is another early gem of ours, which I recommend you go check out. One of my favorite movies. And Time Cop. Am I missing any others that we did of him? I think that's it. Right?
And he's dangerously close to the Five Timers Club.
He is.
I feel like only Seagal has maybe Schwarzenegger.
Maybe Arnold.
Maybe Arnold's been in the Five Timers Club.
The Five Timers Club. Man, we need a little trophy for that. Yeah. I think we got to like get him on here. But
plenty of movies to do. Like as we'll talk later.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about JCVD, right? So we always talk about Seagal. He's definitely in the Five Timers Club on this show, and he's probably in the Last Row Hall of Fame when you think about it. From what he's done. What do you think about JCVD? Like I don't know that I don't remember talking about him as an actor or like a person so much on this.
As a man, as a desirable man.
Like we give Seagal a hard time. I know that people have said JCVD's had sort of like a checkered past, but like, what's your take on JCVD as a person and an actor?
Okay, so like, I feel like he's been known to be difficult to work with, but I don't think he's had any personal issues that have been too great. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I will say that in our other movies that we did on Van Damme, Bloodsport, Sudden Death, Time Cop, I feel like we talked more about the movies because they had more plot-driven discussions that we had. But yeah, I'll just warn the audience right now that we're not going to be talking super hardcore about the inner workings of the Hard Target plot and story because, who cares? We're going to be talking more about Van Damme himself, about Wu, and then we're going to villain scale, obviously, the main villain. But really, the meat and potatoes is going to be the making of and Jean-Claude himself. So
there's not much in the movie.
I feel like, I don't know, why should we give him, why would we be too hard on Seagal and not him? Because what has Jean-Claude ever done to anybody?
Well, let me tell you, I did a little research here, and this was
If it turns out that he's done horrible things, I apologize in advance.
No, he didn't do anything. He's like
As far as I know, I don't think he's been arrested or anything like that. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know his rap sheet officially from like a police report, but I did a little Wikipedia-ing.
Okay,
and this is one step above IMDb. I know you gave me some
at least
crap
it didn't come from IMDb.
I got some IMDb quotes, some facts for you later, but we'll see. I'm not gonna wait on my intervention here, but. So this is, you tell me, I'll go through some of these things. You tell me whether it's bad or not, or whether you consider him up there. Because Seagal, I'm pretty sure, was like literally abusive towards someone, right? Like it was actual abuse, which is pretty messed up.
Yes.
And he's got a whole kind of other checkered past. But,
and like unwanted groping.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Assault.
From his co-stars. Yeah, sexual assault. Some noted, some not noted.
Yeah.
But then, guy totally got Me Too'd after the fact.
Exactly.
But he got away with it, that kind of thing.
Right. And now, he's hanging out in Dubai, like doing, martial arts and like a Dubai thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, but Wikipedia says about JCVD. So it says, by the 90s, the stress of constant filming and promotion of his films, as Van Damme explains, led him to develop a coke habit, which he spent up to $10K a week and consumed up to 10 grams per day by 1996.
Well, who hasn't had that happen to them?
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
mean,
that's like typical Hollywood stuff.
And when you talk about the volume of it, it's correlated to his salary, probably, right? So
it's not a cocaine problem if you have the money to support it.
Yeah,
that's what I always say.
It's like it's coffee, And then he was also arrested for DUI in '99.
Okay, that's bad, but like still, like it's fine. Nobody got hurt, luckily.
Not that we know of. I don't know. And then he went to rehab. He was unsuccessful, and he wound up quitting cold turkey and through exercise, which I can actually see that being true.
That seems a bit too neatly wrapped up for me, but I'll believe it. I'll believe it.
He was also diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which may describe some of the troubles that he had, dealing with some of that. And he goes into to say some stuff about how he dealt with that growing up. He was taking medication and whatnot.
Yeah, like I said, no crimes. He's fine.
Not that we're aware of here. But then the last part, it says that, which I think, I'm curious your take on this, right? Because it's not my business, but it's Wikipedia's business. Mm-hmm. Van Damme has been married 5 times to 4 different women.
Oh, well, who hasn't been married?
Yeah,
5 times?
I mean, you're on your 6th marriage, right?
It's like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I lost count.
It says he was married to a bunch of people. He talks about this, and then he also in '92 began an affair, and then he married the person we had an affair with, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And then there's that famous story that we talked about where he was having an affair with Kylie Minogue during filming a Street Fighter, which wouldn't? Oh, we forgot that. How did we forget?
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean Kylie Minogue, right? We forgot that we did Street Fighter too.
Oh, this is 5. He's in the 5-timers club.
He's in the 5-timers club.
This is it. Congratulations, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Good job.
Put the clapping and the music back there. Yeah, that's right. He is in the 5-timers club. All right, it's official.
Nice.
Which is
back to the cheating. Back to the cheating.
Yeah, so back to the cheating, right? After the congratulations and maybe the bad part here, but I mean,
Kylie Minogue though, nice. I mean,
right, but his wife was pregnant with their son at the time. It's kind of messed up. Not cool. So anyway,
on the other hand, Kylie Minogue.
Do you think we give him enough crap? And we're dumping on Seagal. Like,
no.
Would you put it at the same or no?
This is we're talking about wandering eyes here, And when this is not real life, this is Hollywood. Things happen, Wives and husbands get tossed around. How many times has J-Lo been married? How many times has Ben Affleck been married? Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, all that good stuff.
Too.
Right, exactly. And they get back to each other. Like this, Hollywood marriages are not real marriages. I'm sorry to say. Sorry.
Well, let me ask you about this, right? So we'll talk about Wu in a second, but you mentioned a little bit about him possibly being difficult to work with on set. There's some information in this around John Woo working on a Hollywood film for the first time and the star power of Van Damme and basically the fact that he had total control over the project, whether it was the script or the final cut. And one of the facts that I saw on IMDb, so you can tell me whether you agree with this or not, was that they gave an example and it said that Van Damme would insist on having one of the cameras focused on his muscles at all times. Wu complied, but he never used any of the footage.
Fair.
Van Damme would also delay filming because he was often on the phone negotiating new projects. Is that like you sitting at your job, like having a job interview on your phone, like at your cubicle at your desk? Like, is that what that is? Like,
no, because the job has an end date of the movie you're shooting. You're kind of being a dick about it, but that's what the trailer's for. You don't do that out in the open. But I mean, Van Damme's a star here. He's going to have some
He is.
demands, some wants, some needs. He wants you to shoot his muscles.
Yeah.
Just
do
patronize him. Just patronize him and say, yeah, buddy, we'll shoot him. You don't have to shoot him, really.
Is it out of line if I say that I kind of agree with Van Damme on this? Like, he's the movie star. People are coming to see him.
Right. But so are you saying that we need to see more of his muscles in this movie?
I think that they didn't have enough.
Well, there was a lack of his muscles?
So the only time, because he's wearing that black trench coat the whole time until he finally takes it off.
Let me ask you this: there was no split on screen in this movie.
No.
Do you think he did a split sometime on that set and they shot it and they just cut it?
John Woo was like, "We can't have a split in this. They don't do that." There might have been.
Splits don't read in slow motion. So
I think that there was too much trench coat for the beginning of this movie.
I disagree.
Enough. Well, and the muscles came out in the warehouse scene, which we'll talk about in a bit. And that's where he was sort of greased up, and he had the tank on, and he had like the greasy muscles, and there was like a slow motion pan from like his stomach up, which may have been one of these shots that he was insisting on.
Let me respectfully disagree here about the look of Jean-Claude Van Damme in this movie. Chance Boudreau, it starts with the mullet, and then it goes down from there. So he had 3 looks, right? He had the trench coat look,
and
then he had the all denim look, and then he took the denim off, and it was white tank top, right?
Yep.
Showing his muscles
with the grease.
Now, I think that the trench coat look looked most badass and fit the mullet the most.
It did, but
now,
who's wearing a trench coat in the bayou?
It's true. That's why you rip it off and you got your denim look. And I think the denim look was the signature look of this movie.
Yes.
So I think by the time he stripped down to the tank top, I'm like, what's going on here? Is this a different movie? Like, put the denim back on, buddy. That's
what do they
how
call
I feel.
that? Canadian tuxedo or something?
Canadian tuxedo?
Because he had like the denim, the button shirt tucked into the jeans.
Denim on denim. Wash. Yeah, Canadian tuxedo.
You think that comes... Could you pull that off? I don't know. I kind of want to wear that. Like, I don't know.
Others can. I can't. You can't. I recommend you not do it.
Don't try that.
Yeah.
Don't try. I recommend you don't do that. But despite all of this crap, right? Wu said that he didn't regret working Van Damme and that he was quite an interesting guy, and he preferred the experience in filming in the USA over working in Asia for some years. So all in all, like, nobody said Van Damme's a jerk. Like, he wasn't like being mean, right? Like, he had final cut.
He had demands. I don't know if he had final cut. I think that's bull.
I don't know. Well, there was another thing that said that Wu's original cut was like 2 hours and focused more on Lance Henriksen's character, Fushan.
Yeah.
And Van Damme and his editor locked themselves in an editing room for 2 days and re-edited the film for the producers. Van Damme stated that moviegoers were paying to see a Van Damme movie, not a Lance Henriksen movie.
That's true.
Can I tell him I agree with him?
That's true, but I don't know if I believe that they locked themselves in the room. Like, did you get that from IMDb, Drew?
Yes, I did.
Get that from IMDb? Was it sourced?
Wasn't that? I'm trying to remember. Was that Entourage movie where they were doing that when they're like trying to cut it? They cut the movie and all that stuff. I'm trying to remember.
Well, you might have been thinking of Medellin.
Yeah, Medellin. Yeah, it's like that whole thing. But I mean, I liked Lance Henriksen in this movie. I thought he was great. He was really good.
Right, but we need more Van Damme because people. It's true. You've come to see Van Damme, but I feel like that's a little farcical anecdote there that cannot be corroborated in any way, shape, or form.
You asked me where I was in '93. That's where I was.
I think that's IMDb bullshit, and I thought I told you that you had a 1 week ban. And you didn't listen.
No 1 episode ban here.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the whole? They were saying the writer this thing took place in New Orleans to give an explanation for Van Damme's accent, and Wu loved the setting. He wanted to make the movie look like a Western. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that?
It doesn't matter because I don't pay attention to Jean-Claude Van Damme's accent or really any actor's accent. To be honest, they don't have to have a quote unquote American accent, or just because a film is in New Orleans doesn't mean I expect the main actor to be from New Orleans. They could be a visitor. They could be a transplant. They could be a tourist. It doesn't matter to me.
Why does it seem that Hollywood was so forgiving of like Arnold Schwarzenegger's accent, even the way that Stallone talked, but like there seemed to be this like weird cloud over Van Damme as sort of an actor and this accent, like he was such a foreigner when he really wasn't.
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a charm to Arnold, and we've talked about this in past episodes about Arnold having charm, but also I think there's a bias against the French accent. I feel like people are more judging, Americans, I should say, are more judging of the French accent. So, and honestly, if you have a thick accent like that, it is harder to put across a believable American character with a thick French accent, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody's fault. And I also think that beyond the accent, Van Damme is an inferior actor to, say, a Schwarzenegger, for example. So I think it's not one versus the other. I think it's just one actor's better than the other.
Maybe at that time, but I feel like Van Damme has become a great actor
He's gotten better.
Current times.
Better, yes, but great, I don't know.
So you still think he's better than? You don't think he's better than Arnold now as an actor?
No, I don't think he could. No, like you look at there's two movies. There's JCVD, and there's I believe maybe Expendables 2.
Yes,
where he plays the bad guy. And he was great in both of those. Legitimately great acting. But circle before and after that, some of his roles, it's give and take. Great in Jean-Claude Van Johnson. So he has improved. But I'm not going to call him great.
All right. That's fair. We could go with it. I think
he maxes at a 6 out of 10.
Oh, man.
On the acting scale.
Oh, man.
But his charisma, like that's all you need.
Charm.
That's all you need. Like he's acting here at a 3, right?
Yeah.
In Hard Target. And it's okay because the movie is what it is.
He sort of makes this movie to me, though, in my opinion. I feel like he makes this movie.
It needed him, for sure. Like it's his vehicle.
He definitely makes this movie. Like it would not work with anyone else. Like honestly, I joked about Seagal being in this, but I don't think it would have been as good.
I'm not sure. Good. I'm not sure he could have pulled it off.
Well, let's talk about John Woo a little bit, because we talk about John Woo films. So Van Damme said that this was a bad script and had great action scenes, and Woo made him look like a samurai with greasy hair. We'll talk about the mullet in a second. What was your favorite scene from this? So like I didn't know John Woo at the time. I mean, I was a kid, right? It's like, but he was very famous coming to the US, making this Hollywood film. So, there's some crazy action in this movie. I mean, the plot is not great, but the actual action is fantastic.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard for us to discuss this movie, like beat for beat, is just because there's not much to it. It's more of a, hey, remember when this happened? Remember when that happened? That was cool. And we don't want to leave out, the street shootout, the motorcycle chase where he's standing on top of the motorcycle.
It's fantastic.
It's like that would definitely be my favorite scene from the movie. I thought the use of explosions was both gratuitous and necessary. I know it's an oxymoron, but like if it worked, like it was like, all right, that's a lot of fire, but also, okay, give me more fire.
Yeah.
Like I want it. You know?
You joked about Danny McBride's character from Tropic Thunder. Like that's what I imagined for this one.
Yeah. That's John Woo. That's just John Woo, I guess. But no, I loved that scene. It was every bit as ridiculous as I remembered it, and it was better than I remembered it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, too, because even Woo looks back and says, like, he's happy with the way the action turned out and all that stuff. You read about the movie, you look about what went behind it, but he talked a lot about how, like, this style of filmmaking is obviously more of a Hong Kong style of film, and Americans maybe weren't used to it. So, like, the way that it came across to people wasn't as familiar. But he also has been on record for talking about how, like, he tried to do pretty much everything. He wanted to make it romantic. He wanted to make it look like a Western. He wanted to put a bunch of action in, and he might have been doing too much. And one thing that I would agree that he did way too much of was the slow motion. Like it was talk about gratuitous. It was too much. Like people give Zack Snyder a bad rap on that. Like this was like that times a million.
Yeah, for no reason. Just like him, Van Damme getting up out of a chair, Natasha getting into a car.
Yeah.
Let's slow-mo it. Why? It doesn't matter why. Let's just do it. And it first of all, the runtime suffers. This movie could be 5 minutes shorter if we got slow motion out. You know what I mean? And what's with the dubs? Like, I know it's his thing.
That's his signature thing.
What's
with
the dubs? Like, I get it. It's great.
Got to do it, man.
You
got to do it.
A little gratuitous.
That's his thing. You got to put it in.
No, but before we move on, like, what did you think? I mean, was the motorcycle chase your favorite?
Hands down, yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to say the battle at the end, which sort of was like Equalizer meets Home Alone meets like actually the scene from Sidekicks, which it reminded me of the like factory, the candy factory kind of thing.
Like the rolling from Wilford Brimley's house, all the way to basically the last half hour, to the whole warehouse situation was like top notch action. It really, it's probably underrated because the movie itself isn't very good overall.
Right.
That it kind of gets lost in the shuffle of great action scenes of the 90s.
Yeah.
So the last half hour of this movie is just nonstop, just awesomeness.
This movie is probably what I would call a slow burn, even though there's action before it. Like the lead up to that final scene is sort of like a powder keg, and it's like it's slowly getting up there, even though there's more things like the motorcycle chase and all that other stuff. But I feel like this movie's weird in that I really like it, but it's a collection of scenes to me. It's not like I'm watching it for the story, and I think that's okay. Like I that's why I like it. I mean, this is the type of movie that I like. But even like the hunts, they're like slow hunts, and the concept is cool. It introduces you to what the hell is actually happening in this, but it doesn't really kick off until that back half when, like you said, they're at the bayou at Wilford Brimley's house, which
I mean, and I have thoughts on the hunts as well, but maybe we should talk about it when we get to the villain scale. But like, I do have thoughts on how they could have made it better, but we'll move on.
What about, so this is our second John Woo movie because we did Face Off from 97.
Oh, we did it.
I was looking up his list of movies, and I'm curious what you think of him. Like, do you like any of his others? Like, he had a run from like 93. It's like a 10-year run of U.S. movies.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting. So this was the first one that he did, and then the last one was Paycheck. But there was some pretty good movies in between here. Like, what are you a fan of John Woo? Is that like is he your guy from an action standpoint?
So here's the thing. I see the list in front of me. I've seen all of those movies. And I also, probably going into them, didn't know they were John Woo movies. It just so happened to be. So I wouldn't call myself a fan of John Woo, but I have seen his American catalog.
So you have the Hard Target 93, 96 was Broken Arrow, 97 was Face Off, which is a classic, awesome movie, one of the best. And then you got Mission Impossible 2 in 2000, which, God, dare I say it, is the worst Mission Impossible movie. It's not my favorite.
It's might be the worst one, but it's the one that made it a super franchise.
Yes.
You know?
You got to credit it for that.
So you know how like in Fast 5 made the Fast and the Furious franchise become a car movie to a heist movie? That's kind of what Mission Impossible 2 did. Mission Impossible 1 was an espionage tactical thriller, and 2 kind of flipped the script and made it a super action blockbuster.
Yeah.
Which it rolled into 3 and beyond, whereas it's time now every time it comes out, it's trying to, and it succeeding in, topping itself from an action set piece standpoint. And I think Woo kind of like set that off into the atmosphere.
Dare I say this? Is this going to be a hot take to say that maybe this will be stupid, but I personally feel that Mission Impossible movies are underrated for what they are. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Movies.
They are great.
They are fantastic. And
they are not dumb action movies.
The stunts are good. The story is good. Like the acting is good. Like you talk about Fast and the Furious. Like Fast and the Furious is like comical. Like I like those. They're fun. But this is like good filmmaking.
Maybe this is bad to say, but Mission Impossible movies are like Fast and Furious movies with a brain.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't need a brain. Sometimes the brain is overrated.
Look, and I'm a fan of the Fast franchise.
I love the Fast franchise. So if you want to think a little more, do you want to be surprised with your action movie? You go Mission Impossible. And plus Mission Impossible 2, so I got to give it. Didn't that give us Tom Cruise, which was Ben Stiller? That was from that whole thing. Yep. So then you had so just to round out the stuff, you had Wind Talkers in 2002, starring Nick Cage. Oh yeah. A patron saint of this podcast. Maybe a 5-timer, who knows? Yeah. And then 2003 Paycheck, which was not great at all. Definitely. It sent it back to Hong Kong, didn't it? Yeah, exactly. It was good. I liked Paycheck. I mean, it was entertaining, put it that way, but not great. So I guess, 40 minutes in, we should probably talk a little bit about this movie. Sure. We'll dabble in it. We've been talking about it. What are you talking about? So, I mean, how we talk about this almost NC-17. This is what they got a hard R. Was it violent enough for you? What do you say? So All Out of Bubble gave it 45 kills, and I did not fact check it, but I'll believe them. Good for them. 45 kills, 31 from Van Damme. So as Chance Boudreaux, that's very much earned its R rating, and lots of bloody good ones too. And Chance Boudreaux, man, what a name! How can we talk about Chance Boudreaux and not talk about this haircut? Like you alluded to it earlier. Mullets, man. Is this the best movie mullet of
It
all time?
is.
Is it better than Con Air?
Con
Is
Air
it?
to me is not a mullet though. It's like just long hair.
Really?
I feel because you need to be shaved on the sides, sort of, or like slicked
Are
on
you-
the sides.
I don't know, man.
You
It's
would consider
mullet.
that a mullet?
It's short on the top, party in the back, man.
It doesn't just like it's pushed back.
Oh, the sides are slicked a little bit.
Is my hair a mullet right now? I guess
No.
maybe it is. I don't
No,
know.
your hair is not a mullet. It's okay. What about Lethal Weapon?
Yeah,
you
that's a mullet.
What about
So
Mel
the-
Gibson?
yeah,
That's
that's a
a
mullet.
heavy mullet.
That's a pretty good
Yeah.
one too.
What
That's
about
like a
Patrick-
styled mullet?
What about Roadhouse? Huh?
Yes, that is right, but that's
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
that I don't know. That's like '80s mullet. The '90s mullet, you got to have
Yeah.
like the grease. It's got to be
Yeah.
greased.
What about Jesse Katsopoulos? Now, there's a mullet.
Yeah, I guess
There's
that's a mullet too. That's
Yeah.
like Elvis mullet.
Joe
I
Dirt.
don't know. Joe Dirt is literally a mullet. Like that's like a
Yep.
wig mullet. I don't
We
know.
got David Bowie from that Labyrinth.
That's like an '80s rocker mullet
Mm.
for sure. That's definitely one.
So this could be the winner actually. Freaking Kiefer Sutherland in Lost Boys.
Yes, yes. So
he's
that's,
even got the spikes up top.
that's a mullet. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying because like it's spiked, like it's clearly cut up top.
But
Like,
even so, I still might take the Van Damme mullet just because like
I
it's
would.
just it's wavy in the back. It's
Yes.
just so good.
it's
like
it's the
curly.
longest. It's
Yeah.
the longest mullet. And don't you like when he's like whipping it around and
Oh
stuff?
yeah.
Like
Like, he
especially
whips
he's
it.
standing it.
He whips it and it just goes right back into place. Doesn't miss a beat.
Do you think he had a grease guy? Did he have a grease guy? Like
there
on,
was
on the side?
a hair guy at all times.
Like,
Absolutely.
We talked about Terry Silver always having a dripping wet mullet, and that's like part of or a ponytail. That's like part of the ponytail. So you got to have
Yeah.
it wet. Like the mullet, I think he got me into like a wet mullet believer. Like it's got to
Yeah.
be wet.
So I'm going through like the internet has a bunch of lists of the best mullets. Like so, one of them shows Garth from Wayne's World.
Not a mullet.
You say not a mullet,
No,
just a
Not a
long
mullet.
haircut.
because it's not like on the sides. It's just long hair. I mean,
It's like shorter on the top, but it's
so
long
you would
hair.
call
That's
that a mullet?
No, I mean, I one could argue, but I think you'd lose the argument.
Like I think these lists are
law.
lazy. Like they're not doing the right research here.
Take it
because
to the Supreme Court. You'd probably lose the case.
I mean, please write in thelastwordpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you think Garth Algar from Wayne's World is a mullet, because I would argue it is not. It is absolutely not.
So I'm going Riggs. I do think Cage has a mullet. Con Air.
I don't know, man. It looks like a balding long
yeah.
hair. Skullet, maybe.
I mean, Joe Dirt, but like that's not even real hair. He says it's
not
a wig.
real.
It's the character. The character admits it's a wig. So
Yeah.
that's got to be disqualified.
Riggs
Labyrinth
is good.
I don't know. David Bowie. It's almost like Garth,
Yeah,
where it's almost just long hair.
Kiefer
Kiefer gets second place.
Kiefer's is like iconic just because of what it is.
So yeah, it's Van Damme 1, Kiefer 2, Mel Gibson Riggs,
Riggs
3.
three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I'm good with that list.
official Astro ranking standard.
The Five Timers Club, he gets
Yeah.
his own mullet ranking
Yeah,
too.
he gets mullet of the century. There you go.
What do you
Congratulations.
think of Boudreaux's fighting styles? There's a lot of kicks in this, and like
Yeah,
you
so-
compare him to some other
Yeah, Van
styles.
Damme, his fights are super entertaining. He doesn't need guns, you know?
Yeah.
Stallone needs guns. And Seagal doesn't need guns, but at a certain point, you know, you can only break so many limbs. You know, you can only snap so many femurs, you know, until it gets boring. He doesn't have the dexterity. He doesn't have the
No.
flexibility that Van Damme has. I'm
No.
sorry. And
In jeans, no less.
yeah, I just love that a standing sweeping roundhouse is like his jab.
Yes.
That's like his jab.
It's his go-to.
Yeah. It's like most people just throw a straight punch. He'll leave his feet and throw a sweeping roundhouse. And that's just to get started. I like that in a single sequence in the warehouse scene, he used the roundhouse as both a finishing move and then a starting move to
Yes.
the next guy.
Yeah.
So he shot a guy twice in the chest, then finished him off with a roundhouse to the head.
With a kick.
And then the next guy, immediately he followed up with a roundhouse to the kick and then
Yeah.
shot that guy in the chest twice.
Yeah.
So it's like he bookended that. That's poetry, man.
What,
Is that
what-
Wu or is that him?
No, I think it's him, and I think Wu was getting the best out of his subject. Like he knew what he's like. What are they like? You're my muse or whatever they say. Like he knew how to get the best. It's like a good manager. Like good manager can motivate his people.
Should they have teamed up for another movie?
Yes, they should have.
It only would have been better with more time.
They should have, because he knew how to get that out of Van Damme. Now, look, he missed an opportunity with no split. Like, that's definitely, he put the doves in, but no split. Like, you need the signature split. But the kicks were on point. And what's interesting is, and I found it kind of interesting, was how Van Damme, like, do you think he leaves himself open to when he's doing these kicks? So, like, he's going instantly, and it's slow-mo, obviously, so it looks slow for us. But he's doing a spinning roundhouse kick. Like when he fought those guys in the street, when Nat was in the coffee shop and he walks out, they're like on the car and stuff like that. He just kicked the crap out of those guys. And it was like all kicks. It was awesome. But I don't know if he's leaving himself open to, like, vulnerable,
It's like flawless victory if you're fighting untrained guys.
True.
At least, the main villain, I keep forgetting his name. It's French.
Fouchon.
At least he has some trained guys. So yeah, it is dangerous to leave your feet that often, I feel. But, imagine if he did have jeans on, though.
Yeah.
Imagine the type of range he could get without jeans. He's really doing himself a disservice.
They should have thrown him in the water, and then he'd have been screwed.
Oh my God.
They should have thrown him in the water.
Throw him in the swamp.
Get them. He'd be like having weights on his legs. He couldn't be doing it. There's a lot of swamp around here.
Movie over. Someone,
What do you think about just the whole lack of a backstory? Did you like it better or not so much?
Well, he did kind of have a backstory. He's a former Marine or soldier of some kind. And the whole movie is trying to play this off as where, all these former veterans were down on the luck in New Orleans. They were all looking for any kind of gig they could get, dock work, CD porno, advertising work. Whatever they could get. And that's kind of his backstory, where he's just struggling to make ends meet, doing whatever he can, because it's hard out there. Like you said, he doesn't want to beg for money. It's hard to put your hand out, he said.
Yeah.
It's harder to put your hand out than it is to karate chop a poisonous snake.
Did you like the part when the girl, like, saw that her dad had those flyers, and, like, Van Damme, the good guy that he was like, don't feel bad. Don't be upset about that. Like, he had to do what he had to do. Like, and his friend did the same thing. Like,
I know Gus very well. He pays well.
They've handed this out. Like, I like that he stood up for the dad. Like, he wasn't like some seedy porno guy himself. Yeah. Like, he was just doing what he needed to. The binder.
But I guess that was the thing in, like, New Orleans, to where I guess there was a community of homeless down on the luck for veterans.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a commentary on that city itself, or just it could have been anywhere. I don't know.
So we talked a little bit about Nat trying to find her dad in that scene, but, like, I don't know. What did you think of the chemistry between Chance Boudreaux and Nat? Because it seemed like it was a little weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. So now would be a good time, I think, to, like, actually say what this movie's about, right?
I guess we should. 48 minutes in.
Yeah. Within one sentence, without recapping the plot again, this girl Nat's trying to find her dad. She employs Jean-Claude Van Damme to help guide her through the city and find out where her dad is, or if he's dead, what happened to him.
For $200, right?
So, yeah. So Nat and Van Damme are walking the streets of New Orleans trying to find her dad. I didn't think there was any kind of sexual chemistry between the two. I think Nat is a very beautiful woman. I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is a very sexy man. But I didn't think they went well together. Or at least the camera, maybe the John Woo didn't shoot it that way. What do you think?
Well, maybe Van Damme. I'm surprised. So I guess it's the opposite of Seagal if he had final cut. But apparently in the original cut, there was a love scene. And
isn't that bad? Like, say you're the woman, right? And you have to, like, go through some meathead groping you in a love scene for the sake of the art, for the movie, right? And then it doesn't even get used.
And they cut it.
And then they just cut it. That. So it's all for nothing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make you upset?
It worse.
I feel like I'd rather have it in the movie.
I think I would too. So I don't know what it was, but I think that there was, you could tell that there was maybe something there, but they were trying to, I don't know, it was like weird chemistry.
It seemed like it was cut around.
Where would it have been? At the bayou, maybe? Like,
it would have been after the karate chop to the snake.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what the hell that was, but it was awesome.
It was awesome is what it was. It was completely awesome.
And then, like, maybe at Wilford Brimley's house. Maybe they would have stayed there overnight or something. I don't know. And then he was like peeking in, like, what's going on?
I don't know why, but like, it just kind of hit me that like Wilford Brimley's in this movie. And
He
it's like,
didn't
what
have
the
to be in
hell
there,
is
but
he
why
doing
not?
in this movie?
I think you texted me, why is Wilford Brimley in this? And I think I said, why not? Because go for it. His movie's ridiculous. Why not? And he had a great New Orleans accent too.
It was awful.
He's from. I had to look it up. He's from Utah, nowhere near New Orleans. The accent wasn't great, but damn it, he tried,
dude. So he plays a character of called Uncle Duvet, and I think he's supposed to be his actual uncle, like in the movie. Like I think it's relation, right? Like But I still come back to like, what the hell is the point of him being in this? Like he's like making moonshine in his bayou. Like, is he selling that stuff? Like, he tastes it. He's like, this stuff's good. Like, would you have some of Wilford Brimley's moonshine?
I don't think he's selling it. I think he's making it for himself.
He's making it for himself?
He just wants a good drink.
Is he
No.
like,
I'm not drinking anybody's homemade alcohol. Yeah. No, thank you.
I didn't really get what the hell he was doing in this. And he goes out with like a bow and arrow trying to use this against like high-tech weaponry. Like, these guys have like massive automatic assault rifles and like bazookas. The one guy's flying a helicopter, and he's out on horseback with a bow and arrow.
Excuse me, was he winning? Who lives at the end of the movie?
He does.
The guy with the bow and arrow, right?
Do you think he should have died? I think it would have been more of an impact.
I would have been upset. I would have been upset had he died. No way. Can't kill him.
There's a movie that I watched growing up. It was in the Star Wars universe. It was called like an Ewok Tale, and Wilford Brimley is in this movie, and he plays like some old man in a planet in the Star Wars universe of him like being this guy and going up against these like evil aliens. If anyone's seen this movie, definitely write in. But I remember watching this with my brother growing up. But that's what I think of when I think of Wilford Brimley. Like everyone thinks about diabetes, but I think about him in that weird movie.
Yeah, I just assume that Uncle Duvet died of diabetes. Like he's not going to die from
that moonshine,
a gaggle of human hunters.
I don't know. I mean, is there anything else to say about him? He's in it. He's not in it.
No.
He's whatever. We move on.
He needs to be brought up. I'm glad he's in the movie, but it's kind of a non sequitur. Like there's no reason for him other than a reason to give Van Damme a shotgun. You
want to know what this movie is about? This movie is about like, you want to know what it is about? It's Wilford Brimley being in this. That's what this movie's about. Like, it's just, that's the kind of movie this is.
It's a Wilford Brimley delivery vehicle.
Exactly. So what about the two other guys? So the other guy that I want to talk about was Doug's friend, Doug Binder's friend. The other guy, the second guy that got hunted, which we'll get to in a second, but he was the guy that got shot, and they showed it happening. It wasn't like the opening. Like you saw him get roped in by the guy at the strip club. Then you saw him get roped into the game with the money belt. He gets shot like brutally through like a cemetery. He actually took out a guy, which was awesome. And I was kind of hoping that would happen. But he's walking around on the streets like bleeding in New Orleans, and people are telling him to get a job. Like, what's that about?
Well, he goes about it all the wrong way.
He's bleeding out.
He's acting like a homeless beggar. He's not describing the situation, and he has time. He has all the time in the world. He instead of saying, "Hey, please help me. There are guys trying to kill me. I need shelter. I need to be saved. I need the police." He's going around saying, with his hand out, his palm out, going, "Guys, please help me, please, help me." Sounded like Craig's dad on Friday. Help me, please, please.
So you wouldn't help him? You wouldn't help him? You'd be telling him to get a job?
No, I wouldn't tell get a job. I would first of all, I'd say get off me. Like, what's going on? Like, I would have to ask him, "What do you need help with, sir?" Because help me, please doesn't equate give me $1 either.
Yeah, but how about like, hey, something's wrong with this guy. Somebody get over here. Like everyone's like walking away from him. He's bleeding out on the sidewalk. Like it was pretty pathetic.
But I mean, we don't know what that blood is and where it's from. I'm not going to assume gunshot.
So like that guy is a slob. He had ketchup packets all over him.
Also, he's a known like person in the homeless community in this town.
Well, fair enough.
People might recognize him as begging on the streets. So he needs to be more specific.
I feel like they should have helped him out. Come on, man. Help somebody out here. This guy's like in clear need of help.
He needs to open his mouth to be more specific.
Did you like that he took those guys out, though? He shot that one guy. I was
absolutely.
glad that he did it.
Absolutely.
That was good. That's why I got to finish him off, right? That's
what
they say. So we can't talk about this movie without talking about the villain, which is Emile Fouchon. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's played by Lance
Sounds right.
If I go out on a limb and say played brilliantly by Lance Henriksen, I
Yeah.
thought he was great in this.
Yeah, great
And-
villain, great sub boss, Habib Marwan.
Yeah, I mean, he had a Terry Silver-esque piano scene where he was furiously playing the piano, which
real
was
madness. Real madness.
like, talk about madness. But let's talk about the most dangerous game and the hunting humans aspect of this as maybe part of the villain scale here. I'm curious what you think about him. We'll set it up, but basically we've alluded to it a bunch of times. Like they're tricking homeless guys into basically playing in this game so rich guys can hunt them. But let's talk about Lance Henriksen's character. And if you're new to this show, we're going to throw him through the villain scale here. It's 1 to 5 on each of these categories. You've got look or style, hideout or lair, plan, or henchman. So if you're new to the show, we put all of the movie villains through this, and then we're categorizing them in a spreadsheet here. Compare them against each other. But what do you think about this guy's look and style? He's ponytail, accessories. Like, what do you think about this?
Well, with everything else, he looks like a pretty normal guy. I wouldn't give him high score. But the one thing that stood out to me was his gun. His gun was so
pretty
freaking
sweet.
cool. I had to look it up and see what the hell this gun was. So I just randomly searched, let me search hard target villain gun. And what I come across is a website that, simple enough, IMFDB, Internet Movie Firearm Database.
I thought it was Internet Movie Database.
IMFDB.org for y'all to look it up. And it goes by step for step and shows you every gun in this movie and any other movie you wish to look up.
It had some great screenshots too.
Yeah, with screenshots. So I'm looking for this gun. It's oh, nope, it's not the Beretta. I know what the Beretta is. Oh, no. Is it the Ruger? No, I know what a Ruger is. This is a Thompson Center Arms Contender. Single shot pistol. Things fires .45 to 70 millimeter cartridges. And they're seen hanging on the loops of his belt. So he's got the ammo. The ammo's huge. Looks like a freaking CO cartridge. And I thought it was the coolest gun. It reminded me like a Dirty Harry type thing. It really gave him a signature look, I felt. So I think that at least bumps him up to a 3.
Yeah, he had that. He also, I mean, I guess it's not part of his hideout, or it's more of the hideout stuff, but his outfits were kind of plain, but he looked menacing, I think, from his outfits. And the guns were great. I mean,
so he did have slick back hair.
He did.
So it was
it wasn't wet,
slicked
though.
It was at the end. It was
okay. Yeah.
Oh, it was
right.
At the end. It was very wet.
After he got on fire.
Yeah, but it was slicked on the sides, kind of. I don't know. I'd give
think
it a
this is
3
slick back?
or a 4.
I think maybe a 4. We could go 4 here because of that gun. It was sweet.
The gun was so cool. He brought it out all the time.
Do you consider the helicopter his too? Is the helicopter an accessory?
It's definitely his.
So I think it could be a 4 because I think
it's fair.
He had some really good, and maybe you can consider all the weaponry his too.
Yeah,
it was pretty much all his, right?
Yeah.
So I think a 4, and that gun was good. It seemed like the gun was not it made him more badass because it seemed like it was really hard to load that thing in a pinch. Yeah. And it was a really slow weapon that made him more menacing.
It is menacing. That's the word. It's menacing.
That's what I liked about it.
It's not a gun to get in shootouts with. It's a gun to scare someone or take somebody out, aiming down the barrel.
And it had no sights. Did you like how he did it on the arm? He held it on the arm.
But he's a pro. He doesn't need sights. He's shot that thing a million times.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah. Yeah. I think a 4 is in order for this guy. Yeah. Okay, so what about his hideout and his lair? Because
this is where it gets tricky. Where is his lair? Does he have a lair?
He's like a nomad in a way. So was that house a rental? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He had that plantation house, didn't he?
I don't even know.
Where he was playing the piano, that was his joint, right? That was his place.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Unless it's a rental.
They showed it so briefly that I couldn't get the lay of the land. It was a nice looking room, but really.
But if that is the 1 second that you saw, what didn't you see that he had? Do we get a bonus points for not showing anything?
I don't think you get bonus points for imagination. I need to see what you got.
It was good though. He had all kinds of art on the wall. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But, I feel like I can't. if the movie didn't bother to show it to me, then I can't give him points for what I can imagine it might be.
Where does he keep his helicopter? Does he have a garage for that, or like a hangar, like an air hangar?
I don't think anyone's ever parked a helicopter in a garage.
They need a hangar, I guess.
Can you imagine like a garage that's like on its side and it opens up like upwards towards the sky?
Yeah, it's like, I guess you go into the ground with a helicopter.
Yeah.
It's like the bat cave or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I maybe it's a 2 because
I'll give it a 2
room.
because it's a cool room. But like, if you don't show me more, I can't give you more. I'm sorry.
No, this is where it's going to get interesting. His plan.
Oh, yeah.
Just explain this to people because it's pretty complex.
So there's the tricking rich guys into hunting homeless men for sport. So he's tricking rich guys and tricking homeless guys. It's like a double thing. Total profit on his part. And then the plan when he gets Boudreaux on the run, when Boudreaux blows up his spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
His plan is to get some clients that he had hanging on a thread, bring them all in at once, charge them each $750K, meaning he's getting the $750K from them to hunt down his enemy.
Yeah.
So he's turning his enemy on the run into a business opportunity.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy genius.
But like, I thought when he called those guys up, he's like, "Gentlemen, thanks for coming to help me out." Oh, it's $750K. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are those guys suckers?
And if your bullet happens to be the bullet to kill Boudreaux, Van Damme, then your fee is wiped clean. You don't have to pay.
Are those guys suckers for participating in that?
Yes. The thing is, those guys are looking for the homeless guys that are helpless.
Yeah.
They don't
can't
understand that they have the hard target.
Yeah.
They want the easy target.
Well, the one guy that got in the beginning, or the guy that got killed from, what was his name? Doug's friend Elijah.
Yeah.
That guy wasn't really in it. He wasn't really in it all the way. Like he didn't want to finish off the guy. Now you get these guys. These guys looked like they were hardened. You know, they've done jobs with Hendrickson before, right?
They looked like more hardened, but they were still no match.
They had some good firepower.
They didn't know what they were in for.
No,
they had
didn't.
no idea. No clue.
I think it's interesting though that he's charging these guys $500K clip and then $750 for this hard target, and then he's offering to pay these dudes like $10K, but he never was intending to pay them.
But listen, the harder the kill, the more he's charging. It's like backwards. It's backwards.
It is.
Like he needs some professionals to do this job, and he's bringing in amateurs and charging them more.
He doesn't even need these jokers because he's got Van Cleef. Pick Van Cleef.
I feel like instead of trying to make money greedily,
just he
should have just like asked Habib Marwan, "Hey, buddy, do you know other guys that are as good as you?
Yeah.
You want to bring them in to help us?"
Did you get the sense that there might have been a power struggle there? And maybe we'll talk about it in Henchman. I don't know, but like, I don't know. I think that his hubris got the best of him, and I'm gonna, as smart as he is as a businessman, I'm gonna dock him a point here because Hick Van Cleef, played by Arnold Vosloo, aka Emotep, aka Habib Marwan, aka I don't even know, like awesome guy. He's one of my favorites in this movie. Underused, honestly. We'll talk about him in a second. Like he told him, just let me take him out from the air. Just let me take him out.
And he could have.
And Henriksen pulled a power move and he's like, no, it's the thrill of the hunt. Like, we got to get him. Like, I don't want that. It's like, dude.
But why?
Why?
This guy's messing with you. Just kill him.
Just take him out and move on. Like, go to the next. You keep making money.
He's fighting with his heart.
Like, it became personal. And I feel like I don't understand why it became personal for him. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, personal in the sense that he messed up his New Orleans operation.
Well, fair enough.
But, like, on the other hand, it's like, it seems like they've moved around a few times.
Yes.
They can move somewhere else.
They should move around. It's a bad idea to stay in too many places for too long.
Yeah. They were, it's, I don't know. It's stupid. I want to give the guy a 5 because I like that he turned his enemy into a money-making scheme, which, like, was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
But out of stupidity, I want to dock him a point.
Yeah. I kind of want to go 4, and here's why I would say a 5 minus 1, because he had the coroner on his payroll. That was pretty smart. He had the strip club guy on his payroll. That was pretty smart.
Those
He
are
was
the
smart
only two
enough.
that knew. Those are the only two outsiders
Yeah.
that knew of his operation.
And the cops didn't seem to really know what the hell was going on. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because they showed that weird scene where they were on strike. I don't know. But he seemed to like just kind of be ruthless. Like he was just murdering people in the streets. Like he didn't care. He's like
Well, yeah.
stalking these guys in the
Well,
car.
You put it like that, maybe that's why he was so mad at Boudreaux and they took it so personally, because he had a great thing going
like
there
easy.
in New Orleans. It was easy because the town was lawless, kind of.
I think we got to go 4 because
Yeah.
he let the
He gets a,
anger get the most of him.
he gets a hubris point, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a good plan.
But
honestly.
like, yeah, the fact that he turned it into a money making scheme blew my mind. Like,
Yeah.
this is a very dangerous situation he has, and he still found a way to make dollars off of it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about his henchmen then. So we alluded to Habib
Oh, yeah.
Marwan, Imhotep, Pick Van Cleef. It's one of my favorites, man. He was awesome in
name.
this.
Great name too.
He was a
Peak Van-
great
Peak Van
sub boss.
Cleef. Peak Van
I
Cleef.
liked him a lot. Like he was ruthless. He had the evil face down.
Yep.
like,
he had lines. He
he
had good
was-
lines.
Yeah. It's what did you like the part when one of my favorite lines was when he he just chopped the strip club guy in the stomach? Like, do you remember that part?
Yeah, what'd he say?
He said, "Wakey, wakey, you fat."
Yeah. The guy was great. I mean, Imhotep, he knows what he's doing. And this could
my
be
best line.
it could be a 5 henchman. It could very well be. I don't know if there's been a 5 henchman before. There might have been
Dude,
one or two.
He deserves it.
Yeah,
I actually
he was
think
really good.
he was really
And
good.
I wish he had a better fight in the warehouse in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, he put up a decent fight, but I felt like his fight, like fist fight, head to hand, should have been longer than
Yeah.
the final boss.
Well, because Hendrickson didn't. It's okay if he just dies easily.
Yeah.
Like
No.
he was menacing, but he was the brains.
I'm fine with him putting up a fight, Hendrickson. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I felt like the sub boss should have been the harder guy to take out. I don't know, maybe it was. I mean, they had an extended like through the glass, throwing grenades, back and forth kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, he put up a good fight.
Would you say it was like with Bennett, like in Commando? Like, because I mean, we said Bennett was the bad guy, but he was sort of like the sub boss. Because I don't know, like I thought Van Cleef was awesome in this. Like I really wish that we got more of Arnold Vosloo because I thought he was great.
Yeah, I'm prepared to go 5 on this.
What
I really
are the customers, like the paying customers, rich guys? Do they count as the muscle? To like the strip club guy, like he counts as a muscle? Like
I think they do, but they really don't add anything.
all the unnamed like
yeah.
motorcycle riders with the helmets. Like I don't know where these guys are coming from, but
Let me ask you this question: if you sit there in your basement, let's put a motorcycle helmet on you. You walk out the front door and have somebody punch you in the chin.
Yeah.
With your helmet on. Does that knock you out?
I don't think so because if you're gonna crash your motorcycle and bash your head, I think it could withstand a punch.
What are these guys getting knocked out, getting hit in the head by Van Damme with motorcycle helmet on?
I mean, it was a kick though, right? I mean, I
It
guess
is the Van
it's doing
Damme kick.
kicks.
All right, you walk outside your house right now with a motorcycle helmet on. Van Damme roundhouse you in the face.
there.
Are you knocked out? With
Yeah,
a
I'm
helmet
probably
on?
getting knocked
Probably
out.
maybe
I'm probably
probably
getting.
Van
probably getting
Damme's
knocked out.
Van Damme's roundhouse is probably more impactful than a motorcycle accident.
It is. It's more traumatic.
Yeah.
We got to go 5, right?
Yeah,
That's
we'll go
5.
5.
Lock it in. All right. So let's recap. So we gave him a 4 for his look and style. We gave him a 2 for his hideout and his lair. We gave him a 4 for his plan. We docked him a point for his hubris, and then he gets a 5 for henchman. Not bad. He gets a 15 here. Total
Yeah,
of
20. That's definitely probably top quarter.
15
all
out of 20.
villains.
He's in the top list here, man.
Yeah.
So he's up here with Catherine Trammell, who got a 15. He's up here with M. Bison, who got a 14 and a half, which we could probably round up.
Yeah.
He's, I think it stands. He's not bad up
It's
here.
fair. It's fair.
I think it's pretty fair, and I think it works. So, but yeah, I mean, Catherine Trammell was really, besides Terry Silver and the Superstorm from The Day After Tomorrow, was like our biggest villain, and now maybe you could argue that Emile Fouchon is too. So I think we did him justice.
Yeah, underrated.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask you, it's been a while since I've seen this. Did this thing hold up, and was it what you expected? I know we analyzed probably the making of the movie more than the plot itself. What did you think of this? Did you enjoy it while you watched it, or was it more like a chore?
No, I enjoyed it. It was a little bit slower pace than I remembered, and I also didn't remember how John Woo it was.
Yeah.
So, because I didn't when I saw it last, I probably didn't really think of it in John Woo terms, because it was probably in the late '90s. I saw it. I certainly enjoyed it. Wasn't a chore, and I think that it holds up.
It does.
I think that it's not so cheesy of a '90s movie as it could have been. It kind of stands on its own.
It definitely is 90s, but you're right. It wasn't as cheesy. It's because I think the action is sort of timeless and like the scenes are pretty timeless. Like I know the mullet's ridiculous, but it kind of like, I guess with people, I was listening to one of our old episodes recently and we said, I think you said the mullet will never make a comeback. Yeah. I have to remember what it was, but the mullet did make a comeback.
It's already back.
It's back. I mean, it definitely is back. And, I think this movie, it still holds up. I think it's a collection of action scenes, which is fine by me. I mean, this is the type of movie that I like, and I enjoyed the hell out of it while I was watching it. And I love a good Van Damme flick. So if you're into Van Damme and you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. I think it's streaming on Tubi TV for free right now. Yep. So go check it out and let us know what you guys think.
Before we go, we got some listener love. We got an email from an old friend. We just want to shout him out because he's been a longtime friend of ours. Friend in the virtual space. UK Lee.
Oh man, one of the original.
Popping up.
Last row.
He's one of the OGs, and we were psyched to see him write in. He wrote, "Hey, hope you're both okay. Still loving your podcast. Really look forward to listening to you at work before the shop opens. Gonna listen to the Final Destination episode tomorrow. Think we are soon due for another Seagal movie. Must be a few left for you to rip. All the best, UK Lee." And yeah, you're right. We do have some left to do.
We never did the original.
Yeah. So there's plenty. Definitely some more Seagal up your alley, and thanks for hanging in there, Lee. It's warmed my heart to see one of the OGs still hanging with us from back in the, 2014 days?
Yeah, I always love getting an email. Thanks, Lee, for writing in. I don't know, what would you call our listeners? Are they rowers? The crew team? Like, what are like rowing people? The last row crew team?
Let's not think of the nickname at 4 a.m. on a Sunday night, all right?
Anyway, another one of the OGs, too. I got to give a shout out to a new Apple Podcast review that we got. So this is a 5-star review that we got here. So thanks to everyone that took the time and left us a 5-star review. It really does help out the show. It says, out here making movies I've never seen better, 5 stars. Look, to be completely honest, I listen to this podcast even though I haven't seen like 90% of the movies because growing up, I never really had access to them. But I'm familiar with most of the plots because of word of mouth and the internet. Even still, Drew and Bowie make these films even more funny, easy to follow up, and their obvious friendship makes their ability to punch up all the major points and character arcs an enjoyable experience every episode. Cannot recommend it enough. Superman TD Jesus, thank you so much for taking the time to leave us a 5-star review, and I know he's also one of the listeners here too, so thank you for doing that. And if you haven't had a chance, you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Thursday, July 7th with a new episode for you guys. And on that note, we will see you then.
See you. One thing we didn't mention was Van Damme maybe, I don't know if he invented this or not, but the upside down pistol gunslinger move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
He has the gun like upside down and he's like using his index finger. And
it was like the Western, right?
How is that effective or more time, saving?
It's not.
I feel like you just dropped the gun.
What's better, that or when the guy goes like this, like they pull the?
Oh yeah, I'd rather do